Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Midas Letter Live. We are here in the Exchange Tower. My name is Mark Latimer, and I'm here with Ed Milewski.
Mark, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Gotta love a Friday.
Yeah. I hear music in the background.
So do I.
Bruce Linton joins me now.
Hearing a lot of voices in the background.
Others, Bruce.
That's okay.
That's all right.
I think
That's
someone's
all right.
having some fun with us.
Yeah. Having a birthday and going out, and there's a
How
bunch
was
of
your
people.
birthday?
Well, you know what? A bunch of people got together, and they at one of our favorite spots, and we did our thing. And I'm feeling a little like I feel older. I feel like.
Well, your voice sounds an entire octave lower.
Yeah.
I like it. Got a nice deep voice today.
I know something happened here to my plug here for my ear.
That's okay.
I'll tell you what's a little unnerving today is that the S&P is at the lowest level since it broke out of that consolidation pattern in.
Yeah, it's on the bottom right there.
Yeah. There we go. So look, if you look, you can see that today's action is lower. Well, it's just right around there, but it's looking lower. Mm-hmm. And here's the consolidation that took place in August. And but is it tied to political shit in the United States? There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's news every day.
Yeah, there certainly is. I don't like the looks of this. This is starting to look more and more like we've moved back. We tried to get through that high, failed, and that's a Doji candle, and that they talk about changing directions often.
Well, a little later we're going to look at a particular type of Doji candle, the Bullish Doji candle.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm learning. I love learning about this stuff.
There's so many different indicators, and candle charts can tell you a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Good.
So, why don't we take a look at the news?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Actually, before we do that, why don't we take a look at what's on the show? So, we will be doing the news with Laura McCallum, and then Alessandro Bruno will give us his perspective on what's going on in politics.
Yeah.
Really interesting stuff. And I am going to have a conversation with Ricky Wright, Mr. Wright, the CEO of Alkaline Water.
Really?
They've got quite the distribution network.
Alkaline water.
Yeah. They're introducing some CBD products. So water with not THC, so it won't mess you up, but you'll feel pretty good, nice and relaxed.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think you could probably use some water right now. A little hydration for the.
Yeah, I gotta.
For that voice. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we let you do that, and we'll go to the news. Yeah?
Let's go.
Here's what's making cannabis headlines this Friday, September 27th, 2019. Invictus MD Strategies released its unaudited interim consolidated financial statements for the 3 and 6 months ended July 31st, 2019 and 2018. Revenue for the 3 months totaled $2.47 million. Net loss and comprehensive loss in the last 3 months was $12.3 million, or 10 cents per share. Cash and cash equivalents at the end of the quarter was reported to be $1.67 million. Cresco Labs has signed a binding agreement to sell its Joliet and Kankakee, Illinois properties to Innovative Industrial Properties for approximately $46.3 million. Cresco Labs will enter into a long-term triple net lease agreement with IIP and will continue to operate each property as a licensed cannabis cultivation and processing facility. The 2 properties represent approximately 100,000 square feet of industrial space in aggregate. The The agreement is expected to close within the next 30 days. Choom Holdings announced that an Alberta provincially approved cannabis retail licensee is opening a cannabis retail store in Westlock, Alberta, operating under the Choom brand. Choom has also entered into a purchase agreement with a licensee to acquire the Westlock store. Agriflora Organics International announced that further to a commercial rights and supply agreement dated May 22, 2019, the company has entered into a complementary cooperation agreement. A party to the original agreement has subscribed to a non-brokered private placement at a 28.2% premium to Agriflora's 5-day volume-weighted average price of 23 cents for total proceeds of $2 million. Dixie Brands and Herbal Enterprises, an affiliate of the Arizona brand, have amended the letter of intent to extend the deadline by which the parties plan to reach a definitive agreement until November 14, 2019. Weekend Unlimited is accelerating the launch of its branded edibles line to meet the growing demand in Oklahoma. Weekend Edibles will include 3 products containing 2.5 milligrams, 5 milligrams, and 25 milligrams THC to meet consumer demand. Thin chocolate bar with salt sprinkles, gummies, and hard candies. And that's your news for today. To keep up to date with all things cannabis, visit the Cannabis Daily on MidasLetter.com.
Let's talk about Aurora. Recently, your financials, you more or less delivered on
Here are the
what?
headlines moving markets today.
If you're lucky to buy it 3 days ago at 37 cents,
And I think it has a lot to do with some of these smaller names giving really...
Recreational cannabis is here.
It's
and
quite dry. So I'm going to eliminate the stocky bits.
Welcome back. My guest today is our lead financial writer, Alessandra Bruno, who's been a regular guest lately. And with all the things happening in U.S. politics, how they're affecting the markets, we're going to get his insights. Welcome, Alessandro.
Thank you.
So, impeachment talks.
Yeah.
Can we start there?
Well, where to start? Really, this is another disaster in the making, I think. Let me come out straight. I think the Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot if they want to win in 2020, trying to get Trump for intervening or allegedly intervening to get a Ukrainian president to investigate the activities which Biden himself bragged about.
So let me understand this. You think that the Democrats should be focused on results and what they're going to do?
Well, they should definitely be focused on some kind of platform. Right now they have a lot of vague ideas. There's nothing clear. A lot of the centrist Democrats, who are Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, and a few others, are trying to adopt the more radical programs of people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is not a candidate for the president, but she is the most perhaps well-known representative who was elected. She was elected earlier this year, and she sort of represents the left wing of the party, whereas they have a very popular left wing of the party candidate, Bernie Sanders, who doesn't seem to be getting that much attention again, and this is going to blow back against the Democrats. Most importantly, by avoiding a real program, some kind of, a solid case. Make it as left as you want, but give the people something to hope, something to want.
So
they're playing in Trump's camp.
So the focus on impeachment is the wrong thing to do.
It is, because impeaching the president, and I think many people don't understand this, does not mean that the president leaves the White House. Impeaching the president means that there will be a motion to remove the president, which will require the Senate to vote with a 2/3 majority. This is a Senate dominated by Republicans. 2/3 majority to get the president to resign or impeached. So that's not going to happen. This is going to be another distraction. The Democrats are making the same mistake that the Republicans made with Bill Clinton.
So you think the Democrats aren't going to get the vote in the Senate, and
Yeah.
therefore they should be focused more on something else,
Well,
policies?
there's plenty of things that the Americans need, and there's plenty of things to criticize Trump on. That is what gets me. I'm not necessarily a Trump supporter, not in the least, and there's plenty to criticize Trump. For one thing, the ridiculous tax cut, which hurt the middle class and benefited only the rich. Why not go after that? Perhaps because so many Democrats are benefited themselves. After all, many of the billionaires in California.
Well, you say there's a lot the Democrats can focus on. Can you talk a little bit about how the this scandal began and where we are now?
Well, let's go back to 2009.
We don't have that kind of time.
No, 2009, Joe Biden becomes the U.S. Vice President.
Okay.
Joe Biden has a son called Hunter Biden, now 49 years old. He's a lawyer. And sometime in 2014, or I'm not sure the date, he became a director on the board of a company called, let me remind myself, I wrote this down. It's called Burisma Holdings, a Ukrainian company listed in Cyprus, involved in oil and gas, fracking and so on, mostly in eastern Ukraine, which is at the heart of the current civil war, which is waning, but it's at the heart of the civil war.
Close to the Russian border.
Close to the Russian border, but it's in eastern Ukraine. Eastern Ukraine generally is a Russian-speaking Ukrainian region.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the Biden joined this company, but the company had some shady dealings, and starting with its president or CEO, and again, let me remind myself of the name. Zholevsky is his name, and he
the CEO
of this company. I believe this minister, oil fracking company, became Minister of the Environment in 2012. So in the Yanukovych administration. So we're going back before.
So he's a CEO and he's a member.
Well, he became minister after being CEO.
Okay.
Perhaps keeping his interests in the company.
Of course.
That wouldn't surprise me. But there was an investigation into this minister, led by the administration that came after Yanukovych was ousted, with U.S. support. Some say direct U.S. support, so that the Maidan Square events, that's another story. But in other words, Hunter Biden was involved in a company under investigation by the Justice Department in Ukraine. In 2016, Joe Biden, vice president, no longer vice, I think he was no longer vice president, was bragging on TV. Everyone can watch this interview about how he put pressure on the Ukrainian president, Poroshenko, to threatening to withdraw $1 billion in aid if he didn't fire the prosecutor that was investigating the company where his son was working.
So
now, tell me where the interference is. Is it Trump or is it Biden?
Well, this is news to me.
Yeah.
I haven't heard this side of the story.
This is the crucial part of the story.
So you're saying that before Trump ever placed pressure,
before Trump was even necessarily president,
Biden placed pressure to help his son out,
Yeah,
which understandably I think a father would do that.
Yeah, but he's vice president of the United States, and
he's doing this.
Yes, and tell me who is interfering. Is it Trump
this is the old,
or is it Biden?
Chicken or egg?
Yeah, but it's more. I think it's a bit clearer than that. The evidence, Biden himself bragged about it on TV. I can't believe someone should have stopped him.
So why,
for his own sake,
did Trump need to have that conversation with the president of Ukraine about this, if it's already public knowledge?
Well, because it's public knowledge, that's how probably Trump got to know about it and decided to use it as leverage. But his advisor should have warned him. It's not to discuss it, but it's not that. The problem is, who knows how many conversations have gone on in the past where presidents compromise themselves. The problem is someone leaked this conversation out. So there are people acting directly against the U.S. president in the White House or in the system, forcing, generally compromising a president's position. And the implications are huge, because who now will a president speaking to another person of power in the United States, whether he's another politician or a CEO, for example, let's say GM now involved in a major strike potential. Let's say the CEO of GM wants to talk to the president about resolving the situation, and that has happened many times in the United States, where CEOs speak to presidents to ease or facilitate negotiations between two sides in an industrial dispute.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Who's going to trust the White House is not that someone is not bugging their conversation or interfering or then public broadcasting? The CEO will say, sorry, I can't be compromised. This place is not safe.
I think it's fair to assume that if you're the president, that almost all of your conversations are recorded. What do you think?
Well, they're not all.
Well, of course, not all. What do you think? Is Giuliani helping Trump?
Well, Giuliani is Trump's lawyer, supposedly. I'm not sure. He probably has not helped Trump by given his outbursts on public television lately.
Yeah, he used the words moron and idiot.
Yeah, of course, during a debate, a heated debate, particularly.
A very heated debate.
Yeah, where you are presented as some kind of liar. It's easy to get worked up.
Emotional.
And Giuliani made his career by being an anti-mafia district attorney. Mm-hmm. So he's dealt with some pretty interesting types in his life. This may be the most, it may prove the most difficult. But I think the general implications, apart from the details, the legal details, is what benefit do the Democrats get by impeaching Trump, which won't result in his ouster? And even if it does, who takes over? Pence. Do you want an ideologue, a religious ideologue, to rule the United States, or Trump? Who's better?
From what I've been seeing, Trump has started to throw Pence under the bus. He's been saying, look at Pence's phone calls. Mm-hmm. So if both of them are out, doesn't Pelosi step in?
Well, no, it would be the...
Pretty sure it's Pelosi.
Pelosi. I don't know if it's the Speaker of the House. It might be. Certainly it's not one of the...
From what I know, it's Pelosi.
Yeah, it might be.
So why do you think Trump is bringing Pence into this?
Well, because...
Just to defer...
For the very same reason that he brought Pence in the first place.
Which is?
Which is, if you think I'm bad, look at this guy. I mean, this guy
is worse than Trump.
Pence does not eat with women, does not have lunch with women.
Mm-hmm.
He's a conservative religious figure who he brought in, first of all, to win the religious right. Mm-hmm. And this is where we need to shift the discussion to what will happen with the vote and with within American society itself. So he brought Pence as an insurance policy.
You think there's a chance Pence could be president?
No.
You don't think Trump will be out of office?
No. And that's the thing. I think ultimately this will backfire and it will hurt Biden much more than Trump.
So if it's hurting Biden, does that mean Elizabeth Warren takes the
it favors Elizabeth Warren, and I think this is one of the reasons why some of the Democrats are, rubbing their hands, because it's going to take out this sort of an intruder candidate. Biden is a bit old, and he joined the race late. He was debating whether or not to participate in the first place. He came late into the party.
I think that was showmanship.
Showmanship, but I think I'm not sure, he might be a foil for others in the party. Mind you, I don't think any of them are doing anything interesting, so they're all playing into Trump's hands. Focusing on this this will strengthen his base.
Assuming Trump doesn't get impeached, who do you think stands the best chance to beat him? Or can he be beat?
No, I don't think, unless the Democrats suddenly wake up and come up with a real platform, Trump will win again. And I have some historical evidence for this from another country. But let me just say, I think had Bernie Sanders been the candidate in 2016, and were Bernie Sanders the candidate in 2020, then Trump risks losing. So because Sanders had a message, had a following, he had something some people could grab, not just look at this guy. No, he even agreed with Trump on some things. So there was a real program there. Whether you agree with it or not, he impassioned people.
Who's the best business-friendly candidate? Who's going to do the best for the markets?
Well, obviously Trump.
So if Trump stays in power, then we're going to see
theory,
growth?
because Trump could do. I think he's done damage to the markets by being too good to the markets. It's like being very complacent with a spoiled child. So you think
we can expect a dip if something happens?
Yes, I think we can. Usually, something like the impeachment process is going to cause anxiety, because you don't know what's going to happen. So far, the markets have not responded particularly vigorously, either up or down. I believe the DJIA was neutral, just a few, and as this story is building.
It's up a bit, but not much.
Yeah, it's not basically neutral.
0.023 cents or something.
Yes, many people, I guess, are striking for the climate today. I noticed some stores. I wanted to buy something, and they were on strike for the climate.
Really?
So, yes.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you might catch it.
Well, maybe we'll have some time to check out those stores. Thanks so much, Alessandro.
Thank you.
This has been very interesting. Really appreciate your time. Right after this, Ed and I will be back looking at some charts. And we're back. A lot of interesting stuff in politics.
You just wonder how this is all going to play out, I just got to believe.
So tough to speculate.
Oh, no kidding.
Hats off to Alessandro for...
Yeah, he's a knowledgeable guy. Like, he obviously is very interested in this stuff.
Mm-hmm. So let's get down to the meat of it.
Yeah, well,
a lot of people are here to look at some charts.
Yeah,
marijuana is obviously.
Yeah, let's put up the Midas Letter Indices.
Sure.
And then maybe we'll take some of the components.
Yeah, we'll open up the chat room conversation. So the indices. Oh, a lot of red on the screen. The big index is down 3.66%. The small cap is down almost about the same. The venture index, 2.59%, and the CSE, 4.50%. So a lot of red across the board today. We'll click into our major index here.
Yeah, we're looking at, we're at 6,200. This index, by the way, was 12,500 at the beginning of May.
So it's lost about half.
It's lost.
Wow.
How's your haircut? How do you? That's a big drop. It's just got to get tougher. I mean, people aren't as friendly. They're not as happy. They don't want to talk about their stock market, their marijuana companies anymore.
Yeah, when there's not a lot of good news to report, what do you do?
Yeah, you go put your head in a.
Well, if you're an investor and you've been shorting the whole time, then you might be doing okay. A lot of people rode the wave and are hanging on to some money.
Yeah.
Let's look at a few of these companies.
I'm going to put up weed right off the bat. I want to take a
Okay.
look. You know, weed. Okay, here we go. $31.76, down $1.09 today. Yeah, we're you know, just a couple comments. I mean, a lot of these charts are going to look similar because you know, we had a very discernible trend line there. Then we gapped down on some bad news. When accelerated the sort of decline, but then we've offset that with that nice move. Now we're heading back though to this. Well, these when a low is set and then there's a counter rally, and now we go back and test. If that doesn't hold, if this doesn't hold in here, it suggests lower prices. It's that simple. I want to put up another one here that I'm.
Who's that?
Tilray. That's the U.S. one.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up YouTube and check out our chat room, see how everyone's doing today. And for those that don't know, we have an active chat room every day from 3 to 4 on YouTube, Instagram as well. And if there's stocks you want Ed to take a look at, please put in the ticker, and if we have time, we will do our best to get to them.
And here's Tilray, which is trading right now just under $26. Looks like, I'm sorry, it's $26.37. So similarly, we've had a pretty steep decline, and then we accelerated to the downside again, and then we've bounced back. Not too dissimilar from what we just saw with Canopy.
Yeah, it looks quite similar.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen here. You know, like this whole bubble of marijuana is, you know, it's taking back, it's giving back, or it gave you a lot of wealth. Now it's taking it back, right?
Mm-hmm. That is, if you're still hanging on to it.
Yeah, and so far it's trying to. We've had 3 days where we've held. What I don't want to see is if it starts to get comfortable down here, and then the next day it breaches it on some big volume. That might get the bears. That might put in more selling pressure. So there's a couple.
I think we're waiting for a big news day, something good to happen.
Yeah, well, I know the event that we you know, Jameson talks a lot, and he says, you know, once they make it legal over there, but you know, the CBD, I noticed this guy Sanjay Gupta, he's a CNN guest speaker, and there's a documentary coming out. I noticed it was advertised. I don't know when it's going to be out, but it's about weed and the CBD explosion. So it might be an interesting thing to watch.
The CBD explosion. There's a conversation I had with Ricky Wright a little later. They're doing some interesting stuff with CBD water, and with their distribution, as soon as that gets legalized, it looks like there's going to be a lot of CBD water around. And that's not the stuff that gets you, gets you high. It's just
this is a wellness.
Yeah,
this is a
wellness water
out of a well.
Yeah, the well is deep.
The wellness. And so just remind me again, this gentleman is the CEO of what company?
It's Alkaline Water Company.
Right.
And they're, I believe, the second largest water company. Got to be in over 100 stores in the U.S., 100 different types of stores, a lot of grocery stores. They got Walmart and a lot of the big players there. And, I think the rules haven't quite passed, but they've got their products set up, a lot of different CBD wellness waters that they're pretty excited about. So
yeah,
we'll have to wait for that combo. So who else do we have in
I want to put up
marijuana stocks? Just in the chat room here.
Okay, so Tilray. Now we're going to go look at Kronos. Here's one. Kronos. It wow. This is a 6-month chart. Look at this, and it does seem to accelerate down here. Like we seem to be picking up steam to the downside. Remember, this was $32. It's now $12. So you can't be too excited if you bought this thing any time in the last year. You're seriously underwater. except if you bought it yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to see stocks break. They say if sometimes when a stock gets below 45% of its high, that it's like that's the point of no return. For some reason, it's not halfway. It's slightly more than halfway, and maybe has something to do with Fibonacci numbers, etc., which has a whole different. That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat room here, and you know much about T-God? There seems to be some conversation about a double bottom, the green organic Dutchman.
Yeah. No, that was a big one. A lot of money was made quickly. T-God, I believe, is on the. Yeah. Well, look, we're starting to see like I could just leave the same chart up and just change change the names.
Change the names, yeah.
Look at this. Like, I mean, talk about top, left, bottom, right. Like it's just got to weigh heavily on people that are big shareholders in these companies.
And where's the volume? It looks like there was some while it had that little bullish run there.
Well, look at I'm gonna put up another chart here because what you don't see. No, that's a 2-year chart. So this went public sort of middle of last year, and look at this thing. It was $10, got to almost $10, and now it's 2.25. And again, they sometimes they price these things higher, but some people made money in here, obviously. Just a second.
Yeah, you can make money in both directions.
Yeah, but I mean, even like being long here, if you'd have bought on a new issue,
yeah,
you got all this. But now everybody's in a ditch on this, so anybody who owns this, because I believe that number now is just right around as low as this number. Mm-hmm. Anybody who bought this stock is losing money.
It's got to be tough if you're in senior management and you may feel like you're a little handcuffed there. What to do, right?
Well, and unfortunately, in a lot of these companies, there were some funny things. A lot of the management, and I'm not saying anybody in particular, but a lot of this paper was printed up and given to people at pretty good prices. Like if you read some of the stories, stocks go from like their shell company, and that shell company, like weed went from virtually nothing to $70. $20 billion company. Mind-boggling. But it's not that anymore, I don't think.
Well, we got a little clip. You know much about the bullish Dragonfly Doji?
I know a little bit about it. But I think
there's so many different indicators out there that maybe a lot of people probably know, but for those that don't, let's take a look. What is a bullish Dragonfly Doji? The word doji is the Japanese word for mistake or blunder. Doji. Doji occurs when the open and close on the day are equal. Doji patterns often indicate a market turn. There are a wide variety of doji patterns. The Doji Dragonfly is a unique bullish indicator. What's happening is the bears drive the price down for the day, and the bulls rally to bring the price back up to the open. The longer the tail on the dragonfly, the more bullish the indicator. The bullish dragonfly is a strong buy indicator. It can pay off nicely if you take action when you see it. That's been a Midas Letter Minute. So those candles are supposed to act that way.
Yeah, well, you look, if you see a certain candle on a certain setup, that gives you more information. And you can go online and say, okay, what does this type of candle suggest? And like if when you just did that, when you show all those candles, there was one candle that described, or was exactly what you described, and that was the bottom in that series.
Right. It's supposed to be a change of direction.
Yeah.
And maybe if we take a look at a few more charts, we'll
try and
see if we can spot it.
Yeah. Now gold's been sort of You know what? Before we go to gold, let's keep talking
let's
about
keep on cannabis.
Okay, I want to put up.
I know all the charts are looking all very similar. Let's see if we can find something special. I'm in the chat room here. Let's see.
Here's a company that we've looked at, and this came from virtually nothing, and some of the people around this company have made a lot of money, but there's, I think, 400 or 500 million shares outstanding in this, and the stock's around 80 cents. It's called Oxley, and they just, they had a term debenture from the Bank of Montreal that's coming due, and they were able to get Imperial Products to give them $123 million, and now they have the money to pay back their other debenture, which I thought was a pretty nifty piece of financial engineering. So there's some big money involved in these areas, but they're not really panning out for them. Like Kronos. It's $12, and I think they're sitting on like $2 billion worth of cash. So,
wow,
huge amount of money.
Well, maybe one day they'll be able to start using some of that money for marketing.
Yeah.
Because the industry certainly could use those marketing dollars.
But the thing too, though, with like we've seen, and I've observed this, when you're in the wrong part of the cycle, there's not much you can do. It's hard to turn. The cycle can be turned when it's time to be turned.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of people are just sitting back, waiting patiently.
I want to see what CanTrust is doing.
Okay. We'll pull up CanTrust.
Yeah. Wow. There's a 2-year chart, and here we are, $1.59, and the high was around $15. So about 90% of the money's gone. And that it wasn't that long ago, right? Here we are, a year ago, right around there.
So what do you think is going to happen there? It's probably not going to ever reach where it was. I don't even think it could get halfway there. But it's a downward spiral, and maybe someone's going to buy it, buy some of the good assets.
Yeah.
Split up the company. Because they invested a ton.
Well, they're going to need money too, because all their cash that they're going to need to defend all their criminal. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say criminal. I want to say, the rules they broke, right?
Maybe it was negligence more than malicious intent to do harm, but.
Well, I'm sure they were.
We all make mistakes.
Management must have thought they died and gone to heaven with all the money they made in this space, and now they're they could. I gotta believe, and I don't want to say they're going to be jail time or who knows, but somebody's got to be very unhappy. Bank of America, took them around the U.S. and raised them, I think, $50 million. And this is.
Well, you have ex-president of a bank working with you, so it looks like a sure thing when raising money, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
But when it's too good to be true, it probably is.
It usually is.
Let's look at maybe Organigram.
Yeah, okay. What's you got the ticker handy there?
OGI, I believe.
OGI.
Is that the one? Yeah.
487. That was $10.80 a couple months ago. Yeah,
that's a different looking chart. That's not.
That's a different looking chart.
Yeah.
That one looks like you can see there's a level here, and that's the blue line. I'm just happen to be retracing the moving average here. I think it's a 200-day moving average, and it's just sort of flattened here lately at the end, because for the first time on this chart, which is a 2-year chart, we're severely below. And the action here is below that moving average line.
Right.
Yeah. Is this indicating a potential change in direction? A lot of people would say so.
Well,
but it's near.
If it starts to rally back soon, then
yeah.
because it definitely doesn't have the same profile as those other charts.
Well, it's looked
in better
upon.
shape.
Yeah, let's look at Charlotte's Web while we're hot here, because Charlotte's
Took the
Web.
words right out of my mouth.
Did you have that one up?
Yeah,
No
I was
kidding.
thinking that one.
See, we're speaking telepathically now. Okay, so here's Charlotte's Web, and again, this one's got a much better pattern.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that because these two companies are making money?
They're probably
they're on their way to.
Yeah. Or revenues are expanding. You know, they've got. Charlotte's Web was famous because they helped that little girl that had was having seizures.
Some good media, good PR around.
Well, and again, if they got a product that helps people will be buying it for sure. Especially when you've got something that's that vicious and serious as having 10, 15 seizures every day.
Well, if you're helping people in the medical space with your product, then highlighting those stories is so important. And maybe some of these companies need to be focused on how can we help people.
Yeah, exactly. Another one that got a lot of attention was MedMen.
Yeah, MedMen.
I'm going to put that up. I haven't looked at that in a while. Okay.
Did we look at Hexo?
I do from time to time, yes.
They're the only one that's up, but it's a tiny, probably a Doji kind of up, right? Very, very little, but as far as the cannabis index, they're the only one I see that's green on the day out of all the companies.
This is MedMen. This went public end of around, I think, June of last year.
Right.
And it was one of these where there's, I think, the voting structure. I'm not sure which ones. The thing about looking at charts, once you start looking at charts, you tend not to look at too much else because you sort of think everything's sort of baked into the pattern. And here we are. We got up to $7.50 here a year ago, and here it is $1.99.
Looks like a slow.
Well, yeah,
decline.
But this is probably not a linear. They have what?
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like not too big a move, but it sort of doubled in here, and now it just looks like it's just people are getting tired. They're waiting. Let's sell my. Yeah, it's got to be frustrating. I don't own any marijuana stocks, and I like to trade. I'd buy one maybe if I thought it was really oversold.
You like a little volatility.
Yeah,
maybe not too much.
Maybe a volatility in a glass. Yeah, so
had a few glasses of volatility yesterday.
Last night. Yeah, no kidding. So.
Okay, maybe pull up Hexo is the only one that's got a.
Yeah, the idea, when you put up a 1 or 2 year chart, you can look at the. There's a 2 year chart. I'm just going to highlight the moving average line just so you get an idea. But even that moving average line, you have to, here it's clearly a nice path. But as we got a distribution there, distribution here. Now, again, well below. This makes this moving average line roll over, right? And the trend is your friend. Right now, it's
until the end when it bends.
Yeah, no kidding. So we've looked at a bunch of marijuana stocks. Now I noticed one that I was trading earlier. It's had a great move. Is this Bilzerian gentleman from BILZ? Have you looked at that? Ignite.
I haven't seen it today.
I'm going to put it up right now.
Ignite International Brands.
Well, look at this, 236. Yeah, this one. I mean, this thing is acting really well in a you know, excuse the French here, in a real crappy marijuana sector space, right? This one's, you know, look at it was $1.20, $1.30, $1.40 in here. That was last month, and today it's 230. This is a star performer, and why? They've come out and said there's no news.
Well, they've got a star. You know what his Instagram following is? 28.5 million people.
There you go.
So, you know, when you introduce a little celebrity into your brand,
yes,
it's going to help.
Absolutely.
And the conversation I had with Ricky Wright, they've recently made, or in the process of making an acquisition with another water company that has a few big names, stars. They've got Mark Wahlberg is in there in the mix.
Mark trying to make some more money?
You know, if you're a celebrity and you can get involved with water.
Yeah, I think they say he's worth a few $100 million or something, some crazy amount of money.
Yeah, but they've got a few different celebrities, and I think, you know, with their distribution and the celebrities are involved in more of a high-end water. I just think that's a water you pay a little more for. But, you know, the affluent market is something that if there's two bottles of water, one's priced at $1 and the other is $5, not everyone's going to go for it, but you're making pretty good margins on that $5 water.
For sure, for sure.
What do you think? We should go to that interview?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, Mr. Ricky Wright.
Let's talk about Aurora. Recently, your financials, you more or less delivered on
Here are the headlines moving markets today.
If you're lucky to buy it 3 days ago at 37 cents,
and I think it has a lot to do with some of these smaller names giving really...
Recreational cannabis is here.
It's quite dry. So I'm going to eliminate the stocky bits.
Welcome back. My guest today is Ricky Wright, CEO of the Alkaline Water Company. Ricky, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us, Mark.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, can you start by telling us about your company?
Sure. We are the #2 alkaline water company in the country. We are actually the #1 in terms of bulk, which is the gallons and 3 liters. We started about 6 years ago, and we're at about 55,000 stores throughout the country, primarily in the grocery channel in the U.S.
And can you tell me a little bit about what is alkaline water for those who don't know, and what are the benefits?
Well, you know, we make no health claims, but the benefits really are you get superior hydration. We use an ionization process, and candidly, I say we make a great tasting water. Alkalinity is a positive pH, which means it's not acidic. So there are people that say that that can also give you an additional health benefit.
And I see you've been making some news recently. Can you talk about the steps in the recent acquisition?
Yeah, sure. I'm very happy to. We were able to acquire Aquahydrate, which is Mark Wahlberg's, P. Diddy's, Jillian Michaels, and Ron Burkle's company. It was an all-stock transaction. We're very, very excited. The celebrities are tied up for 3 years with us, which makes it a great deal as well. But primarily, we bought it from a synergistic standpoint.
And the idea is, as far as the relationship goes, they're always drinking the water, promoting it, that type of thing?
Yeah, actually, you know, the good news is that they are tied in. They've got real money into the deal. They're tied in for the next 3 years. They're going to promote both products, both the Alkaline 88 as well as the Aquahydrate. And the great part of that is that we have great line extension. So I can tell you about the synergies of the deal if you'd like to hear it.
Sure, yeah, please, if you could elaborate.
Okay, so when we looked at this deal, and we actually spent about $100,000 in market research. And what we discovered in that market research was that we do sell to two different unique groups. So we're more of a mid-premium brand. They're more of a super premium brand. And so as we're selling, our clients and their clients don't even know the other one exists. And so when we discovered that, we thought, well, wow, this would be a great merger. And we looked at the synergies. And the synergies were very simple. One, they don't have a lot of plants. We have 8 plants scattered throughout the country. So logistically, we think we can cut their logistics costs in half. 2, we have great product development. We've developed a great tasting CBD product. We're going to come out with shots. We're already into cans or looking to get into cans. Already got some runs scheduled on that. And so we really looked and say, you know, we're more of an R&D company in terms of where we've moved. They've really stuck with their traditional lines. And then they were great on, obviously, social media. And they had a different, unique delivery method that we didn't, which is direct store distribution channel, which means if you look at a Budweiser or a Bush or somebody, the guys getting off the trucks every day, Coke does it, Dr. Pepper does it, Nestle's does it, and we just didn't have that system built out. So they're going to save us about 2 years of build out.
Great. And we have a lot of investors that watch the show. Can you talk about your revenues and projections?
Sure. We talked about a pro forma $65 million with them included. That's not a GAAP number. That's a pro forma number. We have already announced the street that we're going to do between 46 and 50 this year. We believe we'll be on track for that number. The combined entity, it looks like, you know, combined we would have done about $65 million this year. Okay,
great. And can you elaborate a little more on the CBD products and what that line looks like?
Yeah, no, first of all, we've got some really great product. We have some that we've already done all the PK studies, which is basically the efficacy and the absorption studies. We've done the certificate of analysis studies. So we've actually sent it over to Eurofin, so we know exactly what's in the product. We believe that it's the best product to market. We were coming out with bottles initially, followed by cans. About 20 milligrams will be in the product, and it's a great tasting product, most importantly. I have a restaurant background. I could give you a small platter. I could overcharge you. I could give you lousy service. But if I put something in your mouth that didn't taste great, you were never going to come back. And so all our product tastes great. I think that's the number one thing that we as Alkaline 88 and now Aqua Hydrate combined are going to be most prideful of, is that we're putting a great tasting product in the consumer's mouth.
Well, taste is certainly important. Looking at your distribution network, how do you think that's going to play into CBD products, and to what extent are you going to be able to leverage that?
You asked the perfect question. If you're me and you're running a company that's national like we are, we're in Walmart, we're in CVS, we're in Kroger's, we're in Albertsons, we're in a bunch of huge regionals, HEB. We've got a great Publix. We've got a great group of retailers. And the category buyer, the guy that's already buying my water, is the guy we're talking to. And we've already presented both our extended line of flavored waters, which will also come out with the organic Aqua Hydrate flavor, and the CBD products. And as soon as the FDA gives us clearance, I believe we'll be some of the first products on the shelf of some of these major retailers.
Well, that certainly is good news. What kind of timeline, I know it's tough to say, but when can you expect to start moving these CBD products?
Well, the real answer there is up to the FDA, but everybody thinks it's going to happen this year. I don't think there's anybody either in Congress or in the retail business that doesn't believe that we'll get some kind of guidance in the next 3 months.
Okay. And as far as you have, how many products is it? And if you could pick one, what would you recommend as a favorite?
In terms of CBD products?
Yeah.
We're coming out with shots, and I think our shots are going to be a huge winner. Our regular everyday water is going to be a great taste. It is a great taste. We've already got it. In fact, I can do a commercial for it right now.
There you go.
And it tastes absolutely great. I think that's going to be a big winner for us, but I really think the shots are going to be huge winners for us. And we're coming out with a relax and a sleep and an energy. And so, it's going to be a big winner for this company.
And the stock is WTER?
Correct.
That's one that we're going to keep an eye on. I really appreciate your time, Ricky. Learned a lot today, and I think our viewers did as well. So looking forward to talking to you again.
Thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Aurora. Recently, your financials, you've more or less delivered on
Here are the
what?
headlines moving markets today.
If you're lucky to buy it 3 days ago at 37 cents,
And I
you
think
get
it has a lot to do with some of these smaller names giving really.
Recreational cannabis is here.
It's quite dry. So I'm going to eliminate the stocky bits.
So that's a really interesting company. They've got the celebrity, they've got the distribution network, and they've got a new product that once regulated is going to be, we'll see what the demand is like, but CBD has a lot of health benefits, and if it's available in all those retailers, what do you say, 55,000?
Yeah, where's Ricky based?
Arizona, Scottsdale, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a U.S. company.
U.S. company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so, I mean, water.
If Mark Wahlberg and Puff Daddy can't sell some water, or P. Diddy, whatever he's going by now.
Yeah, he's got some great celebrity there, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah, and they're generating. Yeah.
The celebrity's tied up for 3 years, so.
He seems like a passionate guy. Like he seems like he's really determined to make something happen.
I think if you're going to partner with a company that has that celebrity status, it's a big move. You're banking a lot on the fact that these people are still going to be popular in the next 1, 2, 3 years. But we're just talking here. Why don't we look at the chart?
Yeah, let's look at a chart. It looks like it went public back a year ago, year and a few months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so out of the gate, if you bought the stock, I mean, it moved from roughly, I can't believe it, I can't even see that. Is that around $1.20 or something like that?
$1.12, something like that.
And all the way, and then peaked here. That's
close
a bit
to
of
$7.50
big,
almost.
Yeah. $7.
And now we're sitting at $2.
Yeah, but it looks like there's definite support in here. Now, if they continue to improve, obviously the fundamentals matter in a company like this, right? Mm-hmm. And the revenue numbers seem to be ramping up. So,
well, if we can pull up my screen, let's just take a look at these. Oh, yeah. We can't pull up my screen.
Yeah,
maybe I will be in a minute. Anyways, all I was going to show was if you look at their website, the alkalinewaterco.com, and just look at the retail locations.
Like
distribution matters. They've got everyone. It seems like. Here, maybe I can. Can you see the screen now?
Yeah. No? I don't think I can. Is it on there?
I'm on the.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Walmart, Safeway, CVS, Kroger. These are big retailers. So. What I'd be looking for is when the decision gets made that CBD water is okay, that's when I'd probably put this on my watch list and just pay attention to it. But $2 isn't bad, I think.
Well, if you could ever, you wonder how some of these brands, like I look at Perrier, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. Great brand, right? It's just water, spring water with carbonated carbon dioxide running through it, right?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable,
and yet, a nice little bottle.
And they've got it. They've nailed it. Mm-hmm. But when did Perrier start? Probably 150 years ago. Probably.
Well, everyone's got to start somewhere.
I know.
So,
I'm gonna look at the S&P here because I think we're at a crucial number.
Pull that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right.
We're almost at the bell.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put up that 6-month chart because I want to make sure. Okay, so look, saying earlier it looked like it was rolling over. Look at the tail on that last candle. In fact, I think what I'll do, I'll put up a 3-month chart. So you got a big tail. So it tried to get sold off, and the bulls came in and bought it, keeping this. There's definitely a level of support here on this U.S. market. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. That's the thing. You look at it an hour ago, or when we started the show, it looked like shit in my mind, and now it's rallied dramatically. It's rallied probably 10 points off the bottom. So you know, maybe we're range bound for a while. That's about it. So, yeah, I think that was quite a nice little rally here at the end.
Yeah, quite a nice little rally indeed.
And then I want to take a look at gold, because gold's been under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And it had a good rally there for a while, and now another bad day today. Yeah, although the candle's green, it gapped down and then rallied from. Yeah, you got to have some support in here. If this level breaks, which is, you know, not far away, I think it's about maybe 10, 15 bucks. It's probably on the future month right around that 1,500 level. Yeah, we've had a hell of a run. Maybe you got to be out of gold for a few months. It looked great earlier in the week, and then they start talking about, you know, raising rates and things, and that's not good for gold.
Well, I think that's all the time we have today.
Sure, we could probably stay on and just...
yeah, we could probably stay on all weekend, but people have things to do.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Ed Milewski, everyone.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun, as always. And
Thanks,
my name is Mark Latimer. We'll see you on Monday.
Only one, two, three.